Welcome back to Stretching Your Dollar here on Cheddar News. Well, as students gear up to embark on their college journey, parents across the country grapple with a pressing question. Should they get their college kid a credit card? It's a great question. So joining me now is Lawrence Sprung, author of Financial Planning Made Personal and founder of Mitlin Financial. Lawrence, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Very timely topic. A lot of students getting ready to go to college for the first time or return to their college dorm room. What are the pros to getting your child a credit card?
So number one, financial education, teaching them how to use a credit card and use it appropriately. Two, building credit. Credit drives a lot of major purchases and how much you're going to pay later in life. So if you build that properly, can be hugely beneficial. And three, tracking your expenses. It's a really easy way to see where your money's going and how it's being spent on a monthly basis.
What are the cons to getting your child a credit card in college?
So there's definitely some big ones there. Number one is accumulating debt at high interest rates. That's a big problem. Two, impulse buying. They have an immediate availability to buying something there on the spot. And lastly, overshadowing cash transactions. There's something to buying things in cash and understanding how much that costs and seeing that transfer of money, which sometimes gets lost when you're dealing in credit cards.
I think that's a really good point. So you kind of touched on it earlier, but what is the importance of credit? What does the student need to understand in terms of how this can help them on their money saving and buying journey down the road?
So a couple of big things, right? When you go to buy a house later in life, a car, or even need car insurance, they look at your credit rating. So the better your credit, the better rates and terms you're going to be able to get for those things later in life. The worse your credit, the more expensive those things are going to cost. And when you're talking about buying a home, for example, over a 30-year period, 1% difference in interest rate can have a major impact on that purchase.
Absolutely. So what are the best types of credit cards that you think parents should consider for their college kids?
Look at ones that are going to give you the most benefits and going to be the most helpful to you and your family. Financial planning is really personal, and cards are no different in that regard. Look at the protections you get. A lot of people don't realize there are protections embedded in those credit cards on purchases that you make that sometimes double the warranty. So if something's lost or stolen, you can get that back. On college campuses, college kids, a lot of things go missing, and it's incredibly helpful.
That's a really good point. So when do you think is the best time to get a college kid a credit card?
The earlier the better. I'll tell you what I did with my family. My boys were both authorized users for a long time from the age of 14. And then when my older son went to college, we then got him his own credit card, wanted him building his own financial literacy and understanding how it works. And we're doing that alongside of him.
So do you think that's something that parents should consider, families as well, maybe becoming an authorized user on their parents' credit card at an earlier age?
Absolutely. It's a great way to teach your younger children about credit, how it's used, and that it's not just you put it on the credit card and it doesn't get paid. They have to understand the mechanics of it and understand that financial education earlier, the better.
One of the perks of having a credit card is rewards, right? So how should a college kid manage that? Is that important for them?
I would say don't get hung up on the rewards, right? You don't want to go buying something for the rewards. There are also some vendors that if you use a credit card, you're going to pay a surcharge, maybe 2 or 3%, that may cost you more than the rewards itself. So you have to be cognizant of that, and it might be worthwhile paying in cash for those transactions.
We've been discussing for some time now just how high credit card rates are right now and how you can quickly get into a lot of debt. In fact, debt surpassing $1 trillion, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. How can college kids avoid getting into debt with some of these high interest credit cards?
They have to budget. They have to understand how much money they have to spend each month and track it appropriately. So at the end of the month, they're paying that bill off in full and they're not paying interest on that bill. Really, that's the easiest way. Make sure that you're not putting anything more on the credit card than you would pay cash out of your pocket.
If a parent is watching this segment right now, Lawrence, what would you tell them in terms of controlling what might potentially become out of control spending on a credit card?
I would work with them. and work besides them. Have them understand what their monthly budget is for college while they're there. What are they getting on a monthly basis? And work with them to look at that credit card with them monthly and understand where the spending is going. So if it is becoming an issue, you can nip it in the bud very early on.
So it comes down to budgeting. It sounds like that's the key for any credit card.
That's the key for most families, too.
Absolutely. Best budgeting tips?
Understand how much money you have coming in,
Yes.
how much money you have coming out each month, and plan accordingly.
All right, Lawrence Sprung, thank you for the insight.
Thank you so much.